Hey everybody, March is National Nutrition Month. So I want to challenge you because we want to make healthy living very easy. So I want to challenge you to do something with me this over the next 7 days. First, start out by taking a few minutes and chopping up some vegetables and putting them into containers just like this, just like I have. And I'm going to be publishing a few different shorts on what we're actually doing with these vegetables. So tonight, I actually have some chicken in the oven behind me. I'm so sorry you can't smell it. It smells fantastic. And what I'm serving it with is going to be just some hummus. And I'm going to use my vegetables that I've already chopped up. And we're doing the basic traditional veggie tray. Now, I only chop a few onions because I find they don't last as well in the fridge, but don't worry, I have a trick for that come closer to the end of the week. So pay attention and get chopping. I look forward to having some healthy, simple, really easy meals that we can do together. So we just finished dinner and we had chicken for dinner, and I still have all my veggies out from making my veggie tray. So what I want to do now is show you really fast how I can get something ready for lunch tomorrow. So I have a mason jar here, and you can make a homemade dressing that is very healthy, and you can use that. But you know what? We're trying to make this easy, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to grab my Italian dressing, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon in the bottom of my jar. And then what I want to do is I'm going to create a salad, and I can actually make 5 or 10 of these, and they'll last all week long for my husband and I to take in our lunch. So on the one hand, you might think, okay, well, she's still having to cut everything, but you know what? There's no garbage, there's no compost from this because I already did all of the cutting and the prep work from that. So I'm going to put on the bottom anything that can sit in the dressing and not get wilty or yucky. So I'm going to put some peas in there, and I actually love to put some broccoli in the bottom because you know the floret pulls some of the dressing and it's very flavorful. So throw that in there. The dog is actually begging right now because he is obsessed with carrots. And here, catch, good boy. There, so he's very happy. So I can just throw in whatever I want from my veggies. Look how fast this is going together. And if you make 10 of them, it's just bloop, 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 and everything is already done. So I do like to put a little onion in my salad, and I do like that near the bottom too. And sorry if you're eating lunch next to me, but it really tastes good. So I like to do that. I'm gonna throw that right in there. And you can put in this whatever you want. If you've got some bacon that's cooked, we had some roasted cauliflower with our supper, so I can throw that in there. We had chicken tonight, so now I've got a protein in here as well. So it's actually really filling, which is wonderful. And I personally have a favorite, which is the feta cheese. And it is not a very high fat, it's a low fat kind of cheese, but it has a lot of really delicious flavor. And I think I have some of everything all in there. So the last thing that I'm going to add is lettuce. So if you just buy a spring mix or something that you can just open from the container and put as much or as little of the lettuce as you want. And I'm not kidding you, this will last in your fridge all week because the dressing is on the bottom. And if you'd like to add something like sunflower seeds or something, then you can add that right in there. But if you want something crunchy, like homemade croutons, delicious. And you know what? I will put in the comments how to make homemade croutons so that you can enjoy that. But those I would put separately in a baggie. When I go to eat this, I'm just gonna shake it like crazy. Just turn it upside down, let that dressing flow through everything. And then when it's time to eat it, I'll open up the lid, pour in anything that's crunchy, like my homemade croutons, which I love, and voila, instant lunch. And if you make all of these in advance all week long, you're just grabbing it out of the fridge and away you go. You can't get any easier than that. So enjoy, and don't forget to keep watching because we have a few more things that we're going to be doing with our quick veggies.
Hey everybody, this is day 2 and I have my vegetables out of the fridge. I have to admit, after eating them in a veggie tray, I actually had to replenish the peppers. They went over very well. And I wanted to make a quick note to you that in the carrots, when I'm keeping carrots or celery, just add a little bit of water, and you may want to just refresh the water every couple of days because it will keep them constituted a little bit happier. So I'm making lunch actually, and I want to make a quick lunch using my veggies. So it took me just a minute to get everything out and put them on the counter. And now all I'm going to do is whip them together. Can you guess what is coming? They're already cut again, so I don't have any compost or anything that I'm making, but I'm just going to cut them a little bit smaller. And I had to replenish the onions too because last night I made some macaroni and cheese for a friend who had an accident, so sending it over to her family's. And so I just, instead of having to cut an onion, pulled my onions out of the fridge. So I'm just throwing in the things that I like to cook. I'm not putting celery in here. But I am going to put some carrots in. And everybody's got a different idea as to what they like. And look, oh my gosh, you can't see him, but Percy is bugging me because he heard the word carrot. So there you go. So I had to give him one, of course, because he wants the carrots. And I like cooked broccoli. I understand that's not for everybody, but look how quick this is going to come together. Ta-da! And I'll even put a couple of the snow peas in here. So I'm just throwing them in the pan. I'm cooking them up. And I gotta let these cook. It'll take them longer to cook than it did for me to get everything out on the counter to show you all of this stuff. So look at that. I'm gonna let them cook for a minute and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Things are cooking up nicely. It doesn't take very long at all. And you probably noticed that I'm using avocado oil. I like using either avocado oil or an olive oil that's suitable for cooking or grilling or sauteing because they're processed in such a way that it can handle the high heat without breaking down some of the good things that are in there. There's more antioxidants in there. So I'm use that in my pan. Now I'm going to simply whip up a couple of eggs. You see how easy this is? I love it. Now, you don't have to make it little. This could make a quick weeknight meal, especially sometimes, like possibly tonight. I don't know what I'm making for dinner tonight. And something like this is wonderful because I can just in a few minutes whip up a giant pan. And I usually will put like 2 to 3 eggs per person. I like salt and pepper in it. You could throw garlic in here, put hot sauce on it. However you like to eat a frittata or an omelet, however you want to call that. There. We grow garlic in our garden. It's a very popular thing in our house, so we eat a tremendous amount of it. But there we go. So we've got the egg in there cooking. As soon as that's cooked enough on one side, I'm going to flip this baby over. And I like a little bit of cheese. Now, we eat a lot of sharp cheddar cheese. When our youngest, Isaac, was little, he was lactose intolerant. So we learned a lot about dairy products and cheeses and things. And I ended up using sharp cheddar on just about everything because even though he was lactose intolerant, he could handle the sharp cheddar because it ages longer. And so it breaks down more of the lactose in the cheese. So even when we make homemade pizza or something, I don't actually put mozzarella cheese on it. I put the sharp cheddar on it. So it's very easy to make that simple switch, but also you kind of get used to your food being very flavorful because the sharp cheddar has a stronger flavor um, in it. So look at that. All right, so I flipped this baby over. I'm adding my cheese on top. Ooh, and I'm really hungry. Look at that. That's going to melt up. And in 5 minutes, I've made a really healthy lunch or healthy breakfast. Make it bigger, and you've got a healthy supper. So, has anybody else tried anything with their vegetables? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to see if you guys might have some other ideas beyond what I'm going to be showing you. And there is going to be another video, so keep your eye out for what we're doing with these veggies next.